Ever notice growth slows when things just start working? What is your end goal in your MSP? Is it that you're building an asset that you're going to sell on? Or is it that you're looking at own or not want it? Let's drive into both of those theories need a growth plan. When you first start off, maybe even today, because I see this in a lot of our business consulting where we've been running 20 years, but we're still running as a startup. So let's think about that. A startup needs energy, it needs power, it needs time, it needs 60 hours a week, it needs full commitment from you. Are you still in that location? Or are we actually turning this into a strategic outlook that we're actually knowing where we're going and not everything relies on you? Growth stops in most MSPs when you lose energy. That's what we see in our consulting world. So let's dive into that and understand where we need to go. We need a clear plan. If you don't know what good looks like in 5, 10, 20 years, whatever that timeline looks like, you can't communicate it. We can't break that down into 12-month journey, quarterly journey, and a monthly journey for your SLT team. That means you can't clearly communicate what does good look like. So everything has to come to you. You're still in startup mode, you're still pushing the energy, you're still doing this 60 hours a week. Then we also need solid values. Why are values so important? We don't want just values that we paint on a wall. We don't want values that a large language model created for us like ChatGPT just because we said we want to look like this. They're just shiny words. We want values that make a difference in your business. You want to be tying down your answers to your team's questions to a value. I'm answering it like this because this value says this. The power in that repetition brings those values to life, means that your team knows how to make those decisions on their own behalf, and it means we hire and fire against those values. That's the power of having those values and making them to life rather than just painting them on a wall. We talked about the startup mode. Let's bring that into culture and accountability. In the early startup mode, it's all about you driving it. You're driving the answers. You get someone heroic that's in the business, that's key for the business, that can come in and step in and answer those questions just like you can. But how do we now scale that into an SLT team, into a team that is cohesive and knows what good looks like? We need to make sure that culture is strong within the business. We hire and fire on our values. We create accountability from everything that we do. We have weekly tactical meetings. We have monthly strategic meetings. We have quarterly setting the plan right. We have rhythms. We have accountability to every decision. Every decision and action inside your business needs to be smart. There needs to be an owner. There needs to be a timeline. It needs to be clear. It needs to be understood. What does good look like? Now we're creating a real business that can thrive like a muscle and a pulse without you answering every question. Momentum in your business comes from priorities, not just that you're underneath a grave. 60 hours a week is not possible all the time. We need to make sure we're adding our time into the right priorities across all of your team. So everybody is working on the right things at the right time. They're going to make the right decision, the right action for your business. Otherwise, we just become busy fools. We need consistency. This is where the strategic angle comes in. Quarterly strategic meetings off-site, looking at the whole business, throwing 1,000 things that are wrong inside your business, but then narrowing that down. Instead of looking at outcomes, we need to look at the core pain. Think about this like an onion. We're peeling the onion back. We're getting down to the actual core pain that we need to fix. Then we create an actual smart objective, an AIP or a ROC, depending on which functions we actually follow. But we're actually just creating an objective that's very clear, that's going to fix that problem and create consistency in your business that then drives it forward. I said there that we throw 1,000 things against a wall. We need to make sure that we narrow that down and we choose no more than 3 things. No more than 3 things that we're going to make a difference on, and they have to be timelined for the quarter. You don't want items that are going to go on for 6 months or 12 months. Think about this today. Take one action that you've already got started and finish it before you create another this quarter. The larger MSPs or the platform MSPs that are building something that's got a larger team, larger SLT teams, what I see here is we bounce around too much. We think we know better. What this means is, for instance, service desk, we reinvent the wheel every 6 months. We bring in a different person in the team that gives accountability inside that team, and they just reinvent the wheel again. We go through this hamster cycle of thinking we know better. Real crux here is just do as you're told. If you buy an off-the-shelf PSA, install it like they tell you to install it. If you buy an off-the-shelf RMM, install it how they tell you to do it. Look at ITIL frameworks, look at benchmarking tools, bring all of this together and deliver that framework as they say to do it, not just you on an hamster wheel that's going round in circles. If you're at that stage where growth feels harder than it should, check out our video on building £1 million MSP.